The gambling methods presented in the Winning Strategy series are based on the methods of gambling expert Frank Scoblete. These videos are for instructional purposes only, but are not to be used where prohibited by law. Atlas Media, Gold Hill Home Media, the related companies, officers, and employees make no guarantees express or implied with respect to the information and instruction contained in this series. As with any gaming strategy, individual results will vary. And now, from the Silver City Casino on the Las Vegas Strip, here's James Coburn.
One-armed bandits. Those flashing, spinning, ringing machines would have captured the imagination of gamblers for over a century. Is there a smart way to play? Can you maximize the odds of winning and minimize your odds of losing? Can you beat the one-armed bandits? I'm James Coburn. Join me and discover winning strategies for slot machines.
We have 106 going out.
Woo! All numbers.
Hit hard, Margaret.
This is the excitement of casino gambling. From Las Vegas to Atlantic City. From Mississippi to Connecticut. Whether you catch the excitement on a down-home riverboat or at a Las Vegas mega resort, intelligent casino gambling within your budget can be one of the most exciting and thrilling ways to take a chance on a dream. And for millions of people all over the world, nothing is more exciting than the heart-pounding thrill of playing the slot machine. Now, for the first time ever, the Winning Strategy series takes you behind the scenes and into the world of slots. We'll show you how they work, when they pay out,
$500, congratulations.
and when they don't. We'll shoot down the common myths and discover some amazing facts about these mysterious machines. Plus, we'll show you the tried and tested secrets that are guaranteed to help you increase your odds of hitting it big. Best of all, the tips and techniques you'll learn are based on the best-selling books of Frank Scoblete, one of the world's leading experts on gambling and winning. So won't you join us now as the Winning Strategy series shows you how to win at slots.
In the early days of Las Vegas, the slot machine was considered a poor cousin to the table games. Downtown in seedy bars, the honky-tonks, one-armed bandits were played by toothless old men and countless cowboys. Well, the slots have come a long way. Giant jackpots, higher paybacks, and a dazzling variety of machines have created a new and dedicated stream of players. Many casinos report that up to 60% of their revenue is derived from slots. Yes, these days, one-armed bandits are front and center. First things you see when you enter a casino, proud and greedy, they call out to you, just waiting for a chance to take your money. But if you're an intelligent slot player who knows the odds and knows how to gamble within your means, there are ways to increase your chances of beating the one-armed bandits at their own game. But first, you must know their secrets. And here's Jack Davis to tell us just what they are.
In the next hour, we're going to tell you all you need to know about slots and how to win at them. This program is divided into 3 parts. In part 1, we'll explain how today's slot machines work. We'll tell you which machines to play and which to avoid. Along the way, we'll also give you our top 10 slot tips. In part 2, we'll give you our best basic strategies, plus money management techniques that will stretch your time at the machines, but not your risk. And in part 3, we'll address some of the popular misconceptions relating to today's slots and set the record straight. Finally, at the end of the tape, we'll give you some quick tips on the newest rage in casino machines, video poker. Today's slot machines are as different from the machines of old as modern man is from apes. These antiques were simple mechanical devices which used pulleys and levers. It was the actual spinning of the reels that determined the payouts Lady Luck had in store for the player. The old slot machines could even be beaten by skillful handle manipulators who could coax the machine's reels into landing on the desired payouts. Slot technology has made handlers a thing of the past, but some experts still hawk techniques that promise miracles. So, here's your first slot playing tip. Never buy a slot system that promises to teach you how to physically manipulate the machines. Today's slot machines are computer controlled, and neither the handle nor the newer spin button controls the reels. And the spinning of the reels does not determine which symbols will come up. A computer program called the RNG, the random number generator, does all the work. The reels are used merely to tell you what the RNG has selected. The RNG is located within this microprocessor chip. This is the program that determines the will of the gods of chance. The RNG selects a series of numbers at random. There are over 10 billion series of numbers from which to choose. These numbers then correspond to the various symbols on the reels. So, when you put your coins in a slot machine, here's what happens. Whatever number series was hit when the spin button was pressed or handle was pulled, now sends a signal to the reels to show a symbol for each reel. The reels are simply translating the number series. If the series is a winner, the machine is instructed to pay out whatever the proper amount is. While all this is going on, the RNG is still picking number series. It never stops. Also, it doesn't matter whether you press the spin button or pull the handle. The RNG works the same way. Our advice, however, is slot tip number 2. Always press the spin button. It will save wear and tear on your arm, and more importantly, it will prevent slot thieves, who may be out there, from reaching into your tray and stealing your coins while you're reaching over to pull the handle. We now know how the machines work, and that they are strictly random. But how do they make money for the casino? Many casinos advertise that their machines return a certain percentage, 97 or 98%. What this means is that for every $100 you put in that machine, the machine will return 98% or $98. It's the inverse of interest at a bank. Instead of getting interest, you're giving it. Now, you don't lose this money smoothly. That would be dull. No one would play slots if that were the case. Like all forms of gambling, slot playing is dynamic and explosive. You'll win one moment, lose another. But at the end of 1,000,000 spins of those reels, you can bet that the machine will be close to that 98% payback because the machine is programmed that way. Does this mean that the machine isn't random? No. The selection of the symbols is random. It's just that not all the series are winners. That's how the one-armed bandits get your money. So, which are the best machines to play? That's slot tip number 3. Always play the machines that return the most. Casinos are very helpful in determining that. Many will advertise the paybacks of their individual slot machines or carousels. That is, slot areas within their casinos. So play those machines that are returning the most. You can also decide to play machines based on their denominations. In some states, casinos release their payback percentages by machine denomination. They do this because it's the law. In other states, they do it because it's good advertising. So from the casino's own statistics, we know which machine denominations will return the most. Here are some of them. The highest paybacks across the country are on $5 or higher machines. Atlantic City in Colorado average approximately 94 to 97% returns on their $5 machines. The Foxwoods Casino in Connecticut averages approximately 94 to 95% on its $5 machines. Illinois riverboats float in with 95 to 98% on $5 slots. Iowa has the biggest spread, 94 to 98%. Nevada casinos are returning between 96 to 98% on these denominations. Mississippi casinos return between 95 and 96% on the $5 machines. And Louisiana casinos provide no payout information to the public. The next highest paybacks are on dollar machines. Atlantic City pays between 91 and 93%. Colorado between 94 and 95%. Foxwoods in Connecticut comes in at 91 to 92% payback. Illinois between 93 and 95% payback. Iowa has a big range of 92 to 95% payback. Nevada comes in with high numbers, 95 to 96% payback, and Mississippi has a strong 94 to 95% payback on dollar machines. The next highest paybacks are on 50-cent machines. Atlantic City casinos range between the 90 and 92% payback mark. Foxwoods in Connecticut returns approximately 91% on 50-cent machines. And Nevada's range is between 93 and 96%. No statistics were available for the other sites. Quarter machines come in fourth in percentage of paybacks. Atlantic City has 89 to 92% payback. Foxwoods in Connecticut is at 90 to 91% payback. Illinois comes in at 89 to 93% payback. Iowa has the same range of 89 to 93% on quarter machines. Nevada rings up with 93 to 96% payback. And Mississippi flows between 91 to 92% on its quarter slots. Most venues still have nickel machines. These pay back the lowest percentage, generally in the low to high 80% range. To make money on smaller denomination machines, the casino has to keep more. What we learn from these statistics is that, for the most part, higher denomination machines have higher payouts. So, our recommendation is slot tip number 4, play the highest denomination machine that you can afford to play. But remember, the key word here is afford. If you find that you are uncomfortable playing dollar machines, don't play them. The small edge that a higher denomination has over a lower denomination should not be reason to throw caution to the wind and play over your head. At a higher denomination, a small edge still results in losing more actual money. 2% of $100 is twice as much as 10% of $10. So, play within your means. Now, we've just gone over which machines you should play. Are there machines you shouldn't play? Yes. That's slot tip number 5. Avoid the Big Bertha. Big Bertha is an oversized slot machine, 6 foot or bigger. That's up to 4 times the size of normal slots. They take up so much space, the only way that the casinos can afford them is to have them return very little money. Are there other slots to avoid? Yes. That's slot tip number 6. Do not play link progressive slot machines. Generally speaking, the bigger the progressive jackpots, the less the returns on the other winning combinations. With the giant megabucks and quarter mania link progressive jackpots, the house edge is quite high. Although these multi-casino link progressive machines look like the ordinary slots, they are withholding a much greater percentage of the average play in order to pay out the giant jackpots. For example, the average Nevada $1 machine returns 95 to 96% of all money played. The Nevada Megabucks, on the other hand, returns only about 92% of all money played. In short, you're paying with every spin for the opportunity to win millions. And that brings us to slot tip number 7. Only play slots that are in casinos. Avoid playing machines in airports, laundromats, bars, novelty stores, drugstores, and gas stations. There are no industry standards on how much these machines pay back, but estimates range from as low as 50% to as high as 80%. And now, slot tip number 8. If you can afford to, always play the maximum number of coins or full coin. Most machines allow you to play anywhere from 1 to 5 coins. Regardless of denomination, the maximum coin line tends to yield a better percentage payback. The way you can determine whether full coin is the better bet on most machines is by reading the payout lines. Now that brings me to slot tip number 9. Always read the face of the machine carefully. However, there is one other factor to take into consideration. Sometimes maximum coin in a lower denomination machine doesn't pay back as much as a single coin in a higher denomination machine. Let's say 5 quarters pay back $1,000 on the jackpot line. So for a $1.25 investment, you're getting a $1,000 return if you hit the jackpot. Now, compare that to what the dollar machine of the same type pays back for $1. It might also be paying $1,000. So you do better playing a single dollar on a dollar machine than you would playing the maximum 5 coins on the quarter machine. So slot tip number 10 is see if a single coin in a higher denomination is a better value than full coin in a lower denomination. When you look at all of these statistics, just keep in mind that while certain patterns will hold true from casino to casino and state to state, individual casinos or states may increase or decrease their percentage returns at any time for whatever reasons. Now, let's recap all of our tips. Slot tip number 1. Never buy a slot playing system that teaches you how to physically manipulate machines. Slot tip number 2. Always press the spin button. Slot tip number 3. Always play the slot machines that return the most. Slot tip number 4. Always play the highest denomination machine that you can afford to play. Slot tip number 5. Avoid Big Berthas. Slot tip number 6. Do not play linked progressives. Slot tip number 7. Only play slots that are in casinos. Slot tip number 8. If you can afford to, always play the maximum number of coins or full coin. Slot tip number 9. Always read the face of the machine carefully. And slot tip number 10. See if a single coin in a higher denomination is a better value than full coin in a lower denomination.
In 1899, a German immigrant named Charles August Fay invented a mechanical device he called Liberty Bell. It was an odd-looking machine that had 3 reels, a place to put coins in, a handle of sorts, and a tray at the bottom. The slot machine was born. Little did he know how popular it would become. These days, there are over 60 million players, ranging in age from 18 to 80, players who bet anywhere from 5 cents to $500 on a single spin. Of course, there's one thing they all have in common. They're all looking to hit the jackpot. But barring an extraordinary stroke of luck, there's only one way they'll even come close. And that's by sticking to a strategy they can live by, financially and emotionally.
We now know how the machines work and which machines to play. Now we're going to explore various playing techniques. In blackjack and in all forms of poker, every hand requires a discrete, strategic decision on the part of the player, including how much money to bet. Not so with the slots. Once you have selected your machine, there are no strategic decisions required, except whether you're going to put more coins in the machine or move on. So, in slots, money management is really the most important consideration. And all slot playing systems or strategies are essentially money management ones. We have 3 basic principles we recommend. The first principle for you as a player is to play within your comfort zone. True, you must be prepared psychologically to lose your gambling stake. But if you're underfinanced, then you are going to sweat out every decision on the machine because every decision inches you closer to the brink of ruin. You are going to be extremely uncomfortable in such a case. Our second principle is to never play on a short bankroll. You are better off playing nickels if quarters make you sweat, and quarters if half dollars make you sweat. Obviously, you would have to be a kamikaze slot player to attack a $5 machine with a $100 bankroll. So, statistics aside, your best practical bet is to always play the denomination of the machine that allows you the most economic comfort. Our third principle is to play for a predetermined amount of time. Let's say that you want to be able to play the slots for an hour and you've got a $100 bankroll. Let's assume that between putting the coins in and pressing the button, you can play 4 decisions a minute or 40 cents a spin. That's 4 decisions a minute times 60 minutes or 240 decisions. $100 divided by 240 decisions equals 40 cents. Since there are no machines that take 40 cents, you would have to decide to play 1 or 2 quarters per spin. But whichever you choose, you'd still have enough to last through your session even if you lose almost every spin. Now let's look at money management techniques. The best techniques can be boiled down to 3 types, what we call the big 3. The playthrough technique, the go down technique, and the percentage play technique. Remember, if possible, with all these techniques, you should play maximum coin at the maximum denomination of the machine that you can afford. Also, before playing any of them, determine an overall bankroll within your comfort zone. Establish what your daily stake will be, and then decide what each session stake should be, and stick with them. The first technique of the big 3 is called the playthrough technique. Here's how it works. Play your stake through the machine once. Don't play any of the coins that you win. You can put those in another bucket or leave them in the tray. But the cardinal rule here is simple. No coins that come from the machines ever go back in. When you finish playing your session stake through once, the session is over. Take the coins you've put aside and cash them in. This money is going home with you. We call this putting money in the bank. When your next session begins, you do the same. Take your second session stake of the day, play it through once, and pocket the money that comes from the machine. In this way, you're practically guaranteed that you'll go home with some money in your pocket and you won't be wiped out. The second technique in the big 3 is called the go-down technique. Assume you have a session stake of $1,000 and you're playing the $5 machines. Put half of your session stake, or $500, through the machine. Then check the tray. If the combined amount in the tray and your half a session stake is equal to or greater than your total session stake, or $1,000, continue to play at this denomination machine. However, if it doesn't add up to the original $1,000 full session stake, go down to the next level machine, in this case, a dollar slot machine. Now put through your remaining session stake. The go-down technique allows you to stretch your time at the machines without having to exceed a session stake. It also gives you a shot at big money, since your first half stake will be played at the highest denomination that you can afford. You could also do a reverse of the go-down technique and go up to a higher denomination should you find that you're winning. The third technique of the big 3 is called the percentage play. In percentage play, each decision involves a maximum specified fixed percentage of your total session stake. With each spin, we calculate what 5% of your total stake is. For this strategy, your total stake is the original session stake plus any winnings. The only question to ask yourself is, when do you quit a session? A reasonable answer would be to quit a session when you've lost the last 10 spins in a row. The 3 techniques that we've just covered, the playthrough, the go-down, and the percentage play, are all excellent ways to approach the playing of slot machines. But the underlying philosophy behind all of them is that you have a predetermined method of attack. You are playing the machine in a machine-like way. Once you have settled upon a strategy that suits you, stick to it. It's your best chance to win.
Casinos are filled with believers, and leading the way are the slot players, many of whom try to play Lady Luck by performing strange rituals. Some have even been known to get up in the middle of a session and walk around the slot machine 7 times. Others wear lucky rings, bring along trolls, teddy bears. Some even have pictures of their loved ones. But one of my favorites is the story of a casino employee who just may be the incarnation of Lady Luck. The secret lies in her badge number, 0777. Over the years, superstitious slot players have asked her to bless their machines. Some have even asked her to rub their slot tokens on her badge, hoping the sevens will rub off on them. As for the lady, she doesn't mind. She's a believer.
There are a lot of mistaken notions when it comes to slot machines, how they're programmed and how to beat them. Some of these have taken on the quality of myth. Here are the top 10 slot machine myths and the facts. Myth number 1. Your jackpot can be stolen. The fact is, no one can steal your jackpot. How many times have you heard slot players say that they were playing a certain machine, got up to leave, and bam, someone sat down and on the very first spin stole their jackpot? Well, the fact is that no one can steal a jackpot. Why? The answer lies in the random number generator. That split-second delay was all that was necessary for a whole new number to be selected by the RNG. Had you beaten the other player and put that coin in a split second sooner, the RNG would have had another sequence selected, and the chances that it was also the jackpot are remote indeed. I repeat, no one can steal your jackpot. Myth number 2. Machines are programmed with win cycles and loss cycles. The fact is, today's slot machines are strictly random and no patterns are programmed. It's easy to understand why many slot players believe this myth. In retrospect, you can see patterns or cycles in any random series of events. Sometimes machines hit an inordinate number of winning sequences. Other times, they are ice cold. The operative word in all this is retrospect. Ultimately, the patterns will change, and a few hours or days later, you play the same machine and it appears to have a new pattern. Myth number 3. If a machine is giving out too much money, the computer tells it to stop paying. The fact is, this would be a second guess program and it would be illegal. Myth number 4. At a certain jackpot level, giant progressives will automatically hit. The fact is that giant progressives are usually programmed to hit once in 100 million spins. That does not mean that progressives will hit after 100 million spins. It may hit after 3. When you see progressives going through the roof, it's the natural ebb and flow of randomness. Sometimes the progressives are hit at the low end and sometimes at the high end. The selection principle is not how much money is in the jackpot, but random selection of the number sequence that represents the jackpot. Myths 5 and 6 are flip sides of each other. Myth 5. If a machine has been cold, it's due to get hot. Myth 6. If a machine has been hot, it's due to get cold. The fact is that you cannot predict hot and cold cycles of the machines in advance. As stated earlier, the RNG does not program in win cycles or loss cycles. A machine that is hitting can continue to hit, and a machine that is cold can continue to stay cold. Myth number 7. The total number of symbols on the reels determines the odds. The fact is, the RNG is the instrument that determines the odds, not the symbols on the reels. Now, this used to be true of the old mechanical devices, such as the Liberty Bell machines, but it is no longer so. The symbols are merely informational. They tell you if you've won or lost. Myth number 8. Pulling the handle gives you more control of the machine. The fact is, the handle and the spin button do the exact same job. They activate a signal that tells the machine to inform you of what the RNG has selected. The handle is not connected to the reels in any physical way, as it used to be on the old slot machines. Myth 9. The temperature of the coins when they are put into the machine will trigger winning and losing streaks. The fact is that the temperature of the coins is irrelevant. Myth 10. A machine that is physically warm to the touch is a machine that will give out more coins. The fact is that the outside feel of a machine has nothing to do with whether the machine has been paying or not. If a machine is warm, it could mean a few things. Perhaps it's under a heating duct. Or perhaps the poor guy who played it before you believed myth number 9 and loaded it with red-hot coins. Anyway, there you have it. The 10 greatest slot myths and the facts. Another machine game that is increasingly popular is video poker. We'll discuss it in depth in another tape, but for now, here's what you really need to know to start. The 3 most popular video poker games are Jacks or Better Draw Poker, Joker's Wild Poker, and Deuce's Wild Poker. Here are 3 important tips for each. In Jacks or Better Draw Poker, you must draw to all pairs, but never keep a kicker, that is, an extra card. Break any pair to go for a straight flush. Break any hand, including a flush, to go for a royal flush. Only play the straight Jacks or Better machines. Never play machines with bonuses or second chance options. Our basic tips for Joker's Wild Poker are: never discard a joker. Never hold a card that is not part of a pair, a possible straight, or a possible flush. Finally, when in doubt, go for the higher value hand. Our basic tips for Deuce's Wild Poker are: never discard a deuce. Never hold a card that is not a part of a pair, a possible straight, or a possible flush. And again, when in doubt, go for the higher value hand. Video poker is not like regular poker. You're not playing against the other players. You're playing against the probabilities in a machine. There's no psychology involved, no bluffing. And basic poker strategy is usually wrong. Also, keep in mind, video poker machines tend to have better returns in the higher denomination machines and on the maximum coin line. Video poker and slot machine players have become an important focus of casino marketing. Casinos are interested in making those players happy. So, just about every casino has a slot club. How do slot clubs work? Well, just like table game players, slot players can have their action rated by the casino. Unlike table game players, slot players are not rated by a casino employee. When you join a slot club, you receive a player's card. Whenever you play a machine, you put your card in. The computer inside that machine will then rate your play. How is play rated? The casino wants to ascertain how long you play and how much total money you put into the machine as a basis for giving you comps. Of course, the higher the denomination and the longer the playing time, the greater the comps. Comps are cash in a slot player's pocket. Slot club members are often given discounted or free rooms, meals, and shows. Be sure to join the slot club of your favorite casinos. Just joining often includes special rewards. In fact, join as many slot clubs as you can because most will have special promotions that you can take advantage of. The wise slot player is always looking to get a little extra for his or her play.
The chance to strike it rich quick. Perhaps no other game offers such promise, and no other game so often delivers as the slot machine. After all, progressives like Megabucks and Quartermania have created nearly 150 instant millionaires in the last decade. They've even created some unwitting ones. A few years ago, a cardiologist was smoking a cigar while playing blackjack. The pit boss told him he couldn't smoke there anymore. So the doctor got up, took his chips over to one of the Megabucks machines. He put in 3 $1 coins in the slot, pulled the handle, and won $9 million. Lucky breaks like this continue to stir the passion of slot players all over the world. All you need is a coin, a dream, and just maybe, a cigar.
Location at Silver City Casino on the Las Vegas Strip, provided by Circus Enterprises. Additional production assistance provided by the Claridge Casino Hotel in Atlantic City. For more information on author and gambling expert Frank Scoblete, write to Payone Press, Box 610, Lynbrook, New York 11563. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, help is available by calling Gamblers Anonymous at 213-386-8789 or by writing to Gamblers Anonymous, P.O. Box 17173, Los Angeles, California 90017. You will be referred to a local number in your area.